Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's going on, family? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. This is episode 551. That's right, 551. And you are on tap for a great conversation, as you are all the time. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into another great show. On today's conversation, by the way, this is the show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, my friends, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Can't believe I almost forgot the intro. We do this all the time. We're over 500 shows, for crying out loud. On today's conversation, ICE agents are sent to help out TSA workers or to even work as TSA workers due to the shortage. And you're probably wondering, like, why is ICE agents being sent to airports? Okay, so TSA workers have not been getting paid since this shutdown. So, you know, there's a shutdown fight going on, DHS funding, and TSA officers considered essential. So they still have to report to work, but DHS and TSA has said many are working without pay due to the shutdown. Now, if you haven't seen, and I've posted on my social media, and I'll share some clips with you later on the show, but the airports are so overcrowded, and it is a lack of staff because, hey, if I'm not getting paid to work countless hours, why do I need to go? And it's unfortunate because it's almost like you're damned to do if you're damned you don't, because if you don't come to work, well, you're liable to lose your job. But you're going to come to work to not get any money. It's unfortunate. This is why it's always a back and forth between, okay, who's winning right now? The Democrats or the Republicans? Who needs to cave in? The Republicans or the Democrats? And this and that and the other. And there was a period where we had, because this might be like shutdown number 4 or 5 so far under this administration. There was a period where folks were so frustrated at the Democrats for caving in and giving up because they had leverage. And look, I see both sides, right? I speak to my friends that were in favor of the Democrats lasting out the continuing to last out the shutdown, but then I also know folks that worked in the federal government that were not getting paid, that had to pay bills, that still had to pay their mortgage. So at the end of the day, it's a hard thing to call out here. But my thing is, does elected officials, do they still get their salaries during shutdowns? Do they still get paid, or do they avoid not getting? Do they not get their salaries? Because if that's the case, then hey, try and contribute those salaries to some workers. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, that's one story we're going to talk about. Also, star of the hit action show, I believe it's on Prime, Reacher, Alan Richson, was seen TK Owen, a gentleman in a neighborhood. They're saying happened to be his neighbor. It was some neighbor arguments, and he just, bam, 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 bam with the fist. We have a clip there, and we also have words from the gentleman that he was fighting against. And let's just say the other guy lost, because if you haven't seen Alan Richardson is literally a brick wall. Okay, this man is huge, and you can try and fight him all you want to. Good luck with that. I'm gonna need some backup. Also, former North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson confesses to what he had called during the campaign trail when he was running for governor of North Carolina. He was seen saying, hey, CNN, all these fake news networks, they're just blurting out lies. That's lies, fake news. And now he's coming out saying, well, that lie was actually true. They're telling the truth. Oh, really? Okay. So we got a lot to discuss on today's show. But as always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into the Arrington Gavin show. I'm over here recovering from food poisoning. First of all, I just turned 31. I've come to realize that there are foods that I can no longer eat the older you get. And I had a bad bout of some Chinese food that I normally eat on a regular. And yeah, it didn't hit me this time. And y'all, when I tell you it was disasters coming out of both ends. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I'm trying to uh get my strength back, trying to stay hydrated, and just trying to stay alive here. But enough about me. You know how to tune into the show. We drop new episodes weeknights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Apple, iHeart, Spotify, just to name a few. You can also listen to the show. We're available on a few outlets in the radio outlets in some big markets. Shout out to KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Las Vegas, where you can tune into the Arrington Gavin show Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. You can also listen to us in the Metro Atlanta area, WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then over in the New Orleans area, all right, the Who Dat Nation, WBOK 1230 AM. You can tune into the show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Want to shout out all those affiliates where we're just thrilled to continue to expand and grow our audience, grow our exposure, and we're fortunate, and we truly appreciate the partnerships with them. Also, if you have not done so yet, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not yet. Share with the friends, share with family. We have a goal to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Add on 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can be so kind, just to give us a like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It helps with our algorithm, and we appreciate that, my friends. We appreciate all that good stuff. All righty, now before we head to a commercial break, I gotta talk to y'all about this new this is really not a study. This is a article here that really grossed me out. Okay. um so let me pull this up for you all who are watching. All righty. All right, you see it there? Florida bill to ban marrying first cousins fails to pass. Okay, I'm gonna say one more time for y'all in the back that didn't hear me. This is reported by The Hill. All right, a Florida bill to ban marrying first cousins failed to pass. Okay, I'm over here trying to recover from food poisoning, but I think I just got sick all over again. The Florida bill, state lawmakers voted down HB 733, which proposed that institutions marriages, I can't even say that word. Nastiness, basically, the nasty, would not be recognized for any purpose in the state of Florida after July 1st of 2026. The bill had proposed that a man may not marry any woman to whom he is related by lineal consanguinity, nor his sister, nor his aunt, nor his niece, while a woman cannot marry a man whom she is related by same thing, nor her brother, nor her uncle, nor her nephew. Now, Dean Black, I don't know where I got Neil from. Dean Black told Florida's Action News Jax that he expects another vote on the same issue sometime in the future. There are plenty of people here, and there are plenty of people you can find to be your lifelong partner without looking to your first cousin. Oh, oh, that is that is so gross. Are y'all trying to be like the new? Mm, I ain't gonna call out this state, but y'all know what states I got in mind. Uh, Florida is one of more than a dozen states where marrying your first cousin is legal, but most of the United States have banned such marriages. Y'all, why is this? Why is like what? What? Keep it in the family. Y'all took keep it in the family a little too far. Florida out of all y'all nasty. Y'all nasty. Wonder what's the other states? Now I'm curious. Now I'm just you- let's see here. Ugh, ugh. Let's see. The states generally allow first cousin marriages. Good lord, these are a lot of states, more than dozens. Mm, mm. Yeah. This is now you talking about common sense laws right there. This should be a common sense that shouldn't even be like argued in any state legislature. This is ridiculous. Um, I'm gonna take a commercial break because I gotta take a break after reading about this story. How disgusting. How disgusting. The world we live in, y'all. The world we live in. Look, my friends, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna take a commercial break. I gotta go and hope take some medicine or something. I thought I was getting better. I thought I was getting better. I need to find a bucket. All right, y'all. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Don't go anywhere.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. As I mentioned earlier, remember the name Mark Johnson. Remember former North Carolina lieutenant governor turned candidate for the gubernatorial race, which it was a disaster. Let's just be honest. Like that whole race, his whole campaign was straight up just bonkers. Like it was insane. Anyways, well, he's back in the news. Why? Because he's finally admitting that those lies that were said about him were true. They were true. And he addressed them in a recent interview, a show called After the Call. The speaker, speaking to interviewer Josh Hall, Robinson discussed at length his tumultuous childhood, his star-making viral speech in 2018 Greensboro City Council meeting, and for the first time addressed the allegations made in a bombshell report dropped by CNN just 8 weeks before the 2024 elections, in which he was defeated by Democrat Josh Stein. Now, in September of 2024, CNN published allegations that Robinson had posted lewd content on pornographic forums in the early 2000s, including politically charged comments like "I'm a black Nazi." All of these posts were under the username Mini Soldier, which CNN used multiple data points to connect back to, you guessed it, Robinson. Now, the article came on the heels of Greensboro-based musician Louis Loves Money alleging that Robinson had frequented the porn shop where he worked in the late 90s. Robinson categorically denied the allegations when they came out and filed a defamation lawsuit against both CNN and Money, though he later dropped the suit and stated he would not be seeking office in the future. First and foremost, when one thing I'm just starting to realize, North Carolina, y'all got to do better on your Republican side, because if that was the best work y'all could have done, wow. Because he was truly a piece of work for the Republican Party as a whole, not just in the state of North Carolina, but the whole. Like, he was a MAGA endorsed, but he never had Trump come in person because that would have hurt Trump's image. Out of all people you think that would hurt Trump's image, he used to show up to events with a Trump cutout board, life-size cutout board at his rallies. The new interview entitled "Mark Robinson Finally Admits It," the former lieutenant governor discusses what he described as an obsession with pornography and obsession with sex that has allowed him throughout his life, that has followed him throughout his life. I quote here, says, "I spent a long portion of my life as a young adult walking on the fence like this. On the right hand foot right here, or I believe in Jesus and I believe in God. On his left hand foot right here, oh, I also like to party, or I also like to tell dirty jokes. I also like to watch pornography. So I was the dual person doing these dual things." Let me tell you something. Before I continue reading some of this, which I most likely won't, because I could care less, but what is the reason now to come out saying, hey, what they said was true? Because obviously we're not, we know in the political space, when you're running for something, you want to try and make sure your name is clean throughout the whole game, because your goal is to win, right? And to sway voters to vote for you in order to win a campaign, win a race. Now, my thing is he doing this now because, like he said, hey, look, I'm not going to pursue office anymore. I'm not going to run for anything anymore. But does that really ever stop candidates? Come on. We've had a number of people, Anthony Weiner, George Santos, what's the gentleman from Florida? Matt Gaetz. There's a number. Hawthorne. Is it Hawthorne? The gentleman that he was, I think, a congressman out of North Carolina, and then he ended up going to Florida trying to run. I mean, there's so many candidates that have been very controversial. Some of them that has attempted to run again, even came out successful. Some of them was nowhere near the same running for office. So it's interesting. Like, why now? Yeah, really nothing more to discuss about this guy. Yeah, he says that an unhealthy relationship with sex and pornography can be damaging. Not only can it damage your psyche, it can be damaging to your relationship and damaging to your body. Uh Now he believes he has come back from it uh, likening it to a drug addiction. Yeah, all I can say is you know, ladies and gents, lesson learned, you reap what you sow. And you got to be honest with the people. You have to be honest with the people. I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to digress from this story because again, I'm not trying to spend much time on Mark Robinson. He was not worth my time talking about when he was running for office, nor is he really worth my time speaking now because he insulted, okay? He insulted many individuals. I mean, many individuals and groups during his campaign. He was just it was a true disgrace. I'm sorry. He was a disgrace for a candidate, and not gonna waste my time talking much on him. Okay, moving on. Let's head on to the entertainment space. Let me talk about y'all ever saw the show The Reacher? You ever watch that show? I checked it out maybe once. I think it's on Prime. Action star Alan Richson uh was seen going ham on a neighbor. This is reported by TMZ. Says here that the star might have thought he was still shooting an episode of popular show recently because they have video of him beating the hell out of a neighbor in Tennessee. Let me show you this clip here. Now, it doesn't have really any sound for those who are listening, but I'll explain it again after we share this clip here. In the background, you can hear some motorcycles engines in the back. And he just pops, and then he like puts back on his helmet like a true G, like a true gangster, I will say. Beautiful neighborhood out in Tennessee. And you really can't hear specifically what the neighbor is saying, but the neighbor, I mean, it is like, yeah, I got rocked. I got rocked there. And this is what the neighbor had to say. Let me see if I have that. There we go. So here is the audio of the neighbor who was attacked. And again, we don't know how it really started because we're just hearing one side of the story from the neighbor. The actor hasn't spoke out publicly, not to my awareness yet. But here's what the neighbor had to say.
It started on Saturday morning and I'm an experienced motorcycle rider. I've been riding bikes all my life. So, from dirt bikes to street bikes and etc. But I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding through our neighborhood of the motorcycle. I eventually saw the guy on Saturday. I didn't know who it was. And I sort of like flippantly sort of said, "Guy, deep," like he was quite a way. And I said, "Can you just slow it down, please?" And then there are numerous people in my neighborhood who caught all of this on Ring doorbells of him speeding through the neighborhood. And on Sunday, when I was cleaning my bike outside my house, he rode past once, twice, and on the second time, I walked out in front of him and I said, "You've got to stop. Someone's going to get hurt." And it escalated quite quickly from there. I did push him because he was coming towards me on his bike. He did it again for a second time. I pushed him a second time. I think the second time he got off his bike and kicked the crap out of me. and you can see he hit me in the back of my head. I went to the ground and covered myself. I've had such a shitty day today, and I don't wish the guy any malice or ill will, but we just don't need people riding through neighborhoods like this. And I just decided, I'm take a stand because someone else has to, because it's going to end up way worse than it could have.
You know what? And Brother Man took a stand, and he also took the bumps and bruises too. And the thing is, it's not funny, but the man obviously said, "Hey, look, it's a nice neighborhood. You're making a lot of noise with those motorcycles." Now, the big question is, was that actor in his right to do such a thing? Right? He's riding his motorcycles in a street just like anybody else. Now, was he a disturbance to the neighbors? Because all you see is you just hear from this guy. The gentleman that was talking, his name is Ronnie Taylor. Ronnie Taylor is the gentleman's name. He claims that Allen was flying at an excessive speed, revving his engine and disturbing the peace. Now, if for those who was watching, you saw it was in a nice neighborhood, and I'll post this video on our social media. But it was in a very nice neighborhood in Tennessee, okay? And this is always a hard case here because you start to say, okay, who's in the wrong, who's in the right? Can it be disturbing? Yes, but is it against? I mean, if he has a HOA, or is it the law that he can't, do that? I mean, people do it all the time just in the streets and highways and whatever. I mean, it's just, can he not help the fact that his engine is loud because it's a motorcycle? Motorcycles are mostly loud. Cars, I mean, he says, again, Ronnie says that he was riding it in an excessive speed. Now, you heard Ronnie's accent. He was speaking very calmly, right? He's like saying, "Come on, man, just someone's gonna get hurt." Now, he could be right. He could be right. But the funny thing is, Alan Richardson's two sons was also with him with their motorcycles. So, and this guy too, Ronnie, the gentleman that was beat up, is an avid motorcyclist. He had his own bike and he was cleaning all this stuff. So, look, he might have a case because he's like, look, I have a motorcycle myself. I know the capabilities. I know he could be. He doesn't have to be so loud. And look, this could be the fact that he's a celebrity and he's doing whatever he wants to do, and no one tells him what to do, especially the fact that Ronnie was staying in front and he was preventing him from driving off. He's like, no, look, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. Alan wasn't having that. No sir, no sir. And that man's face is woo. Yeah, that man's face is mighty beat up. Okay, let's see here if I can read you this more in contents. Now, Ronnie admits of flipping the bird to Alan, and he claims the actor returned the gesture. Okay. Fast forward. Taylor said Alan came through the neighborhood again, allegedly speeding at the same time with two youngsters on their motorbikes. Now, when you start making an enemy with a neighbor, it's never going to end well, because now they're going to do something just to tick you off, because they're like, hey, look, nah, I'll do it. And we ain't going to say nothing, especially when, let's be honest, this actor is a lot bigger than him. So he thinks he's already more intimidating to the guy. Ronnie Taylor says he asked Alan, can you effing stop this, please? Which is when things turn physical. Taylor says he went to the cops and reported that Alan punched him in the face and kicked him. Taylor claims Alan then fell off his bike, got back up and tried to run him off. Now, we didn't see too much in that on that video that I just showed you. Taylor also told cops that a tussle ensued, during which Alan allegedly hit Taylor in the back of the head. Taylor accused Alan of hitting him at least 4 times while he was on the ground. which has allegedly left him with bruises and swelling. We see that right now. Taylor also told cops that Allen rode off, but he claims neighbors saw the whole thing, tells TMZ that he did not go to the hospital. So, all right, so but hey, they saw it, but would they fess up and support the guy? We don't know. We don't know. But I tell you, these celebs out here in these streets, man, they are just getting out of hand. Can't we just come in our gated community and just have some peace and quiet, please? Look, I ain't gonna lie. I don't blame Ronnie for standing up, because sometimes if I'm paying big money to live in a very nice, quaint neighborhood in Tennessee, best believe I don't want no disturbances or any distractions either. Not distractions, but just disturbances and disturbing my peace. When it's a beautiful day and you out here, yang, 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 yang. It's no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. All righty, my friends. What else we got on the chopping block for you? Let's go ahead and hold on, make sure I got my notes here set up for you. Real quick, I want to talk about this here. So, as you know, linear television, cable, corporate media is continuing to lose big names. They're losing them to independent media. Independent media platforms like the Midas Touch Network. Now, the Midas Touch Network is a very, very popular, award-winning digital media outlet that built itself as a pro-democracy news network. Now, one Midas Touch recently just announced that they will be welcoming former CBS News correspondent Scott MacFarlane, which Scott MacFarlane had recently shared that he was leaving, that he would be leaving CBS, and literally like 9 days later, he's like, "Hey, look, just wanted to let you know I'll be joining Midas Touch." Which the Midas Touch already has some big names like Katie Fang. Who else do they have up there? Katie Fang. They've done some work with Joyanne Reed. And remember, CBS News, which is owned by Paramount, which Paramount is owned by the Ellisons, which are buddy with President Trump, which most likely the Ellisons will have not only CBS News, but also CNN. At the end of the day, news is supposed to be news. And when you start seeing political influence by the media narrative, that's when it's like, I need to rely on independent. And look, I love it. Even CNN recently just lost one of their big names. Is it Rochelle Solomon recently announced that she will be exiting CNN. She is been with the network for quite some years. She hosted the 5 a.m. time slot, and she was also a business correspondent with them. She recently shared that she would be leaving the outlet, and look, it could easily be because we see all the turmoil happening with mainstream media. I quote from Rachel before I discuss Scott's statement. Rachel Solomon said, "I have decided that this will be my last week at CNN. More to come on what's next for me, but I'm really excited about this next chapter." Solomon said during her broadcast of her show Early Start, she touted her role working as a business correspondent for CNN. "I have covered everything from inflation to job market and everything in between. It has been an honor. It has been a privilege." Solomon essentially opened CNN programming each weekday, as I mentioned, weekday morning, leading network's first original hour of daytime schedule. The show initially unveiled under the title Five Things with Rachel Solomon, debuted March of 2025, previously as a business correspondent for CNN International, covering such events as the 2023 U.S. banking crisis and the emergency takeover of Credit Suisse by UBS. She joined the network in 2022 after a stint with CNBC. So again, I don't know what's going to be her next chapter, but I do know Scott McFarlane, because we have he's shared a video on his social media announcing the big news, him joining Midas Touch.
News to share, and it's good news. I have a new platform for my independent, unfiltered reporting. Effective immediately, I'm chief Washington correspondent for the Midas Touch Network. And beginning in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll begin as anchor of a daily program called Scott McFarlane Reports. The Midas Touch and I share this same North Star of communicating, that when you have news to break or something important to explain, just get to it. Straight to the point. As soon as you open the camera and open the microphone, simply, declaratively, and conversationally explain what's happening, explain what it means. Put aside the production theater and the useless bells and whistles. Just get to it. I'm not an opinionist. I'm not an editorialist. I'm far from a politician. I'm an enterprise reporter and have been for a quarter of a century. What I'll do is bring this enterprise reporting to all the components of the Midas Touch Network, all the contributors of the Midas Touch Network, and anybody who sees, watches, or hears the Midas Touch Network. And you'll still see all of my reporting on my many platforms that you may have been seeing over the past few months or past few years. This is such a critical moment. It's important we underscore how significant this moment is. This moment of unique political toxicity and unique political danger. And the Midas Touch and I have long shared this same philosophy. You don't platform lies. You don't platform conspiracy theories, and you don't allow for the whitewashing of history. We'll do that together. And you and I will do that together. If you're in this with me, you know I'll be here 365 days a year, chasing news, giving you news, trying to give you context and explanation. We can run through walls together to get to the other side of whatever this is. That's how important a moment it is. And I hope this announcement is important too. Some new.
I mean, that's major, and that's a major step for somebody that's leaving the corporate space, going straight into, immediately into independent. And look, he's not the only one that's done this. There's been a latest mainstream media journalist set out on independent and upstart media venture. The list includes Jim Acosta, who's, he's independent now after leaving CNN. Terry Moran, I believe Terry Moran left ABC News. Don Lemon, CNN. Others join outlets established by other media figures, including John Hardwood, a longtime CNN and CNBC correspondent who joined Zeteo News, the startup led by Mehdi Hassan. Midas Touch was founded by Ben, Brett, and Jordi Masalis as a political action committee, and drew attention in the 2020 election cycle for its provocative videos about the Trump administration and members of the Trump family, drawing millions of views and countering a fierce messaging war playing out on social media. Now, Midas Touch has since expanded its commentary and news with former federal prosecutor Ron. Whoa, let me see if I can get your last name right there, Ron. Ron Filipkowski as editor-in-chief. My bad, Ron. I totally must have, messed up your last name there. But again, there's been a number. Katie Fang, as I mentioned, joined Midas News. She has her own network, but I believe that's in partnership with Midas Touch. We're seeing the fact that YouTube is starting to pull a lot, and you can say, liberal leaning, independent leading journalists that say, hey, look, corporate ain't it no more. See, we saw conservatives, they joined way ahead of time, I think, in my opinion, because they joined the independent circuit with Rumble. Now you got guys like Roland Martin, who's nowhere near conservative. I think he says he's black leaning, which, hey, Roland's, I'm a huge fan of him. He started his own platform, Black Star Network. Roland Martin Unfiltered is his lead-in show, but Black Star Network is his network. There's other people starting their own. You heard Zeteo News by Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi Hassan was from MSNBC, and I think before that he was doing work with like Al Jazeera. There's so many. Don Lemon has his own network. So many folks have their own platforms. Independent is the way to go. I don't know how long I have to repeat myself, but independent is the way to go. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Rochelle Solomon, she could be joining one of these independent networks. You never know. You never know. Mediaite is also that's founded by Dan Abrams. Mediaite is a independent network that is now starting to start up on the streaming circuit. There's a number of people that are growing, and we will see how this pans out. But I think this is a huge win for Midas Touch. Midas Touch continues to win countless awards, and they're winning in the digital space, when at one point digital was conservative dominant. Like I mentioned in the past, you had a lot of conservative right wingers that was really, they own the digital space at one point. They might still have the majority, but they're slowly but surely, there's liberal leaning folks that are continuing to change that. And so I think this is an interesting story to and we'll see how this pans out. Let's go ahead, my friends. We're going to take a commercial break here. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, that's that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Let me tell you something that most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all have been checking out the airports here, but it's insane. It is insane. And you have a lot of folks saying, damn, man, I'm going to take my vacation, this and the other. Look, there's folks that are showing up to airports 3 hours in advance. Still not enough. There's folks showing up 6 hours in advance. Still not enough. I have contacts out in the Atlanta airport that is stuck in that huge pile of folks. And look, you need to call your senators. You need to call your senators because of this crap. Let me go ahead and let's share this clip here, because what's unfortunate is the fact that we have a number of TSA workers not getting paid, which when they don't get paid, and some of them are barely showing up to work, that causes havoc in airports. And so, and you're probably saying, well, Arrington, how does this relate? How does the TSA workers, explain? Okay, let me explain it for you. The Department of Homeland Security supports security operations. Now, as you know, there's a shutdown over DHS funding. There's a standstill because both sides can't come to an agreement. TSA, Transportation of Security Administration, is part of DHS and is the main federal presence inside airports. So DHS pays for, you got it, TSA officers' salaries, security checkpoints and screening equipment, K9 units and federal air marshals, everything you need to basically help that secure the airports, Department of Homeland Security. All right, so let me go ahead and play this. This is by CBS, Lord, NBC. I told you I'm recovering from food poisoning, y'all. Bear with me. NBC News, and let me share this with you.
And Morgan, as LaGuardia remains shut down until about 2 p.m. today, other airports across the country are seeing big changes as ICE is deployed to assist the TSA. So far, ICE officers have been spotted at more than a dozen major airports, including Atlanta, New York, and Chicago. This is coming as travelers are dealing with hours-long wait times at security because of that partial government shutdown that's left TSA officers without pay, and it's forced thousands to call out of work or downright quit. NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch joins us now from Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Jesse, good to see you. So where you are, Atlanta is facing some of the longest wait times, more than 2 hours last week to get through security. What are you seeing now that ICE officers have arrived, and what are they exactly supposed to be doing? What are they trained to do?
Yeah, so we know, according to a source, that ICE is training things like crowd control, can check IDs, but we haven't seen them doing much of that at all. Mostly our team has been seeing them roaming around the terminal, but of course we're not through the checkpoint, so we can't know for certain everything that they're doing. Vicky, at one point during the morning rush earlier here, the line started outside along drop-off and curved around the building, wiggled through this area and baggage claim, and then dumped out over here. Now the line is shorter, but we still have people saying it took them about 45 minutes just to get to this point. And I'm going to keep walking to demonstrate for you just how long this line is. This is for one of the general screening checkpoints. People telling us it's taken them 2, 3, 4 hours to get through security. Spoke with a young woman a short time ago who said even after the morning rush, when she had booked a second flight of the day, it still took her about 3.5 hours to get through security and get to her gate. And I think one of the things that we're seeing here is even if the lines are going to start improving at airports across the country, this is still drastically shaking up people's days. That young woman, for example, she had a 9:30 flight. She told me she got here at 6 a.m. and knew pretty quickly that was not going to work. So she rebooked on a 6 p.m. flight, but was going through the security line around 10 a.m. So she's going to spend all day at the airport. She says she missed a test at school where she was headed back from a visit home here in Atlanta. So it is shaking up people's day, possibly their week. We know that if you miss a flight, right, that can really have a domino effect. And again, Vicky, I'm just going to point it out once more. I am still walking. This is still a line. How long have you guys been waiting? Too long. That's the answer. We've heard that quite a few times throughout the day. And I'm going to have our photographer, Ben, stay put. And I'm going to turn, Vicky, just show you. We're still going. We still got a ways to go. Past these signs, the next sign. This is just one of the checkpoints here at ATL. And this just speaks to what we're seeing at an airport that has been hit really hard by these TSA outages. We know that, according to DHS, almost half, more than 40% of TSA workers called out at this airport alone on Sunday. And we certainly are far from the end of this, clearly.
Yeah.
Again, we're past the morning rush. This is what we're dealing with at one of the checkpoints, Vicki.
Jesse, that is incredible. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. For you to take us through basically 3 minutes of TV walking through that line, a reminder to folks they will need to get there early and then sign up for all of those traveler programs if they can to help speed things up. Jesse Kirsch live in Atlanta. Jesse, thank you so much.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Even if you sign up for it, even if you sign up for all those programs, you're still screwed. I mean, I'm sorry, but there is no other option. There's folks that are signing up for the, hey, look, I'm in the fast-paced program. Why is it? Look, more than half of the employees, TSA employees, called out. And I believe that was just LaGuardia. Now, here is I believe Atlanta. This is a Love and Hip Hop alum. I don't even know who he is. Chaotic is his name. He's a former star from the Love and Hip Hop franchise. He is at the airport in Atlanta, which, if y'all unfamiliar with that one, is probably one of the largest airports in the world, or in my mind, definitely in the United States. This is he showed up outside of the airport, and here's his take on how the chaos and everything is looking out there.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am reporting live from Atlanta Airport, and as you can see, the line to get in the airport. This is the line to get in the airport. It starts way down there, and it goes down here. There are thousands of people stuck outside the airport that didn't even get in the airport, and then inside of the airport, it is the same thing. It's thousands of people, not hundreds, thousands of people that way to thousands of people that way. And then even in the inside, it's thousands of people everywhere. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of people at the Atlanta airport, stuck like Chuck, that's not going to make their flights. So if you flying out of Atlanta, right, if you got to fly, look at the outside. Outside, I got a ticket just for pulling up and stopping. They gave me a ticket just because I stopped in front of the airport.
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Like the I can continue to share you more and more and more, but the sad part is, again, this all comes on the cusp of the whole back and forth with DHS funding, right? You have folks that, and let's see here, there has been ICE agents sent to help them out. We see here, let's see. Thought I had a clip here. Oh, yes, I do. So NBC confirms that ICE and DHS officers and agents were at several major airports, including I mentioned the Atlanta's Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, Chicago O'Hara's, and the JFK Airport in New York. Now, O'Hara, armed DHS agents and officers were seen at the walkway connecting the secured area to General Terminal. An officer manning the area told NBC News field producer that ICE agents were helping with security and not checking people's IDs as they pass by. Now, the call-out rate for TSA workers who have not been paid in weeks reached a high at 11.76%. 11.76%. New Orleans Armstrong International Airport had a call-out rate of 42.3. Hey, folks in New Orleans said, if I ain't getting paid, I ain't coming. Then you also have Atlanta's airport, 41.5%. And then New York's JFK's had 37.4%. A DHS spokesperson said. Now, the presence of ICE and DSH agents and officers was a popular topic of conversation among passengers and airline workers on the flight from Memphis to Atlanta. In a conversation overheard by NBC News, the pilot and flight attendant said they hope ICE agents don't create more chaos because they're not trained to have the patience we have in this business. And they're absolutely right. That's a great point, because right now you're seeing ICE agents not looking so good when they're caught on video, right? They're already not a fan favorite from the public. And like the worker, TSA worker, all these freaking initials, TSH worker had said they don't have the patience for this business like we do. They don't have the proper training. They're just here to be extra bodies to help us kind of maneuver. But at the end of the day, they're not trained. So if one of them tips off and they snap because on how people respond, like, what do you do? What do you do, right? A senior ICE official told NBC News at least 50 ICE personnel per shifts will be at reach airports and will not be performing screening duties. Another ICE official said that the ICE officers and agents are not trained to use magnometers or x-ray machines that TSH agents operate and oversee at airports. Interesting. Well, all I can say is this, y'all. Until those in office, those in Washington makes up their mind, we're going to be seeing this for quite a while. Another thing too is, if it's not if you're trying to go on vacation, best of luck to you. If this is a work trip, I understand. But if you're just trying to get on vacation, I recommend a staycation. I recommend rescheduling, because if you don't, most likely you're going to be having your vacation in the airports. Okay? You're going to be having your vacation in the airport. Here's a quote from Trump here. It says, Trump said it was his idea to send agents. Of course, it's always his idea. His idea this, his idea that. His idea to send agents to the airports, and if that's not enough, I'll bring in the National Guard. He wrote on True Social. ICE will do their job far better than ever done before. Like, why does he do that? He's always taking jabs at people. They're gonna do a better job than ever before. So prior to that, it was a crappy job, I'm assuming. He also said he asked that ICE officers not wear masks at airports, even though he supports them wearing masks in their immigration enforcement duties. Okay, so now he's not doing it. ICE officers and agents at the airports are intensifying an already heating partisan fight in Congress, as I mentioned, over the DHS funding, which expired last month. Trump said he urged Republicans not to make any deals with Democrats until the Senate passes the Save America Act, the president's sweeping voting bill. Oh, I tell you, man, I tell you. So I think you know who to be mad at, y'all. For those who are waiting in the airports, I think you now know who you can be upset and furious about. I'm looking at my time here because we are coming to a close, but all I can say is, y'all, midterms. Get out there and vote. Vote like there's no tomorrow. Document everything. Document all this stuff happening right now. And please don't be on that partisan BS. Literally see exactly what's going on right now, and then look at your representatives. See the job that they're doing. If they're not doing their job the right way, well, guess what? You have the power to fire them. Vote them out. Remember, they work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. I'm going to just leave it at that. Until next time, my friends. Look. I will talk to y'all soon on another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.